On today's episode of Soul Impact How Music Saved Us, we sit down with country singer, songwriter, and firefighter Hunter Mounce. From small town in Missouri roots to Nashville stages, Hunter's journey blends grit, passion, and the healing power of music. Get ready for a story where country soul meets true resilience.
This program is part of the Scene Project's podcast network. The Scene Project features interviews with independent musicians, comedians, and artists from across the Midwest. Become part of our community and support local art wherever you are.
Hello, and I want to welcome everyone back to another episode of Soul Impact How Music Saved Us. As always, I'm your host, Wild Willie, and today I got with me Hunter Mounce. Hunter, I want to thank you for being on the show today.
Willie, thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to this for a couple weeks now, so I'm ready to get started.
All right, so a little, and I know we talked when I met you at the festival, but a little bit about the show is I use a lot of the music has always been a way of therapeutic for me. You know, I had a pretty rough childhood and some rough times as an adult, some self-inflicted, but you know, music has always been what brought me back full center. So I want to be able to share that resource with people because a lot of people feel like they're backed up against the wall and they're depressed. And so that's kind of where this got its that. And I see a lot of artists that have one bad show and they're like, I'm done. So it's to encourage people to believe in themselves as well. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and kind of what you got going on?
Yeah, my name is Hunter Mounce. I originally, my whole family is from the area of Summersville, Missouri, Hartshorn, Missouri. I grew up close to Kansas City, very small town just south of Kansas City. It's called Pleasant Hill, Missouri, town of about 6,000 or 8,000 people. Basically lived there my whole life, but traveled back to Summersville, once a month just to visit family and things like that. July July 12th, 2016, moved to Nashville, got a job with the Hendersonville Fire Department. I knew that securing a job with, stable income, benefits, all that would help increase the chances that I could stay in Nashville and, create some longevity as well as have the resources to pay for, all the different things you have to pay for as an independent artist in Nashville who's really trying to go for it. Biggest thing here is, if you want to make great records, it costs a lot of money. Session guys are the best of the best in the world. A lot of the guys that play on my stuff are guys that have played on all the stuff you hear on the radio. So all that to say, they're not very cheap. And then just you gotta have a way to make money to fund all that is what I'm saying. And fast forward to now, I'm living in a town called Ashland City. It's about 30 minutes northwest of Nashville, and it's a little bitty town. Probably maybe not little bitty to some people, but it's about 6,000 people. It's got a Walmart. It's got all the fast food. It's got a couple restaurants and things like that. But it's very, very rural. There's a big farming agriculture community here. There's the Cumberland River, a lot of fishermen. So yeah, that's where I'm living now. But it was good to come back to Summersville and meet you, Willie, at that festival.
It was, and that's what I love to see. I love seeing these artists that stay true to their roots. We talked out there about how hard it is to be an independent artist and make a go of it. So you mentioned about growing up in middle of nowhere, Missouri, pretty much. I was raised in Raymondville, so I know a thing or two about being from nowhere. So, um, what role would you say growing up in them smaller communities did that play in your music?
I would say that since there weren't very many people around, it really made each person shine as an individual. Something I've noticed about people that are from bigger cities, sometimes they have a lot better luck, kind of fitting the mold and, joining kind of what's marketable, at said time. And, for better or worse, I've always been kind of more of an individual and kind of done what I want to do, because, like I said, when you're from a small town, every person is almost like a character. It's not just like a giant group of people all kind of acting the same. So I would say that's probably a big thing that's influenced my individuality and my originalism. And then obviously, the kind of work ethic that you have when you come from a small town, doing manual labor, as a young teen, and learning the value of hard work, being out in the sun, cutting grass, doing landscaping, things like that a lot of kids do whenever, hauling hay, whenever they're
Whoa.
whenever they're growing up in these kind of communities. I know that kind of stuff is probably not foreign to you. You've heard of all those things, and you're
Oh, yeah.
familiar with all those things. So those are probably the two things I would say.
Oh yeah, and that's why I think why I'm trying to do this really is just them rural areas that don't have the outlets that the bigger cities do.
Right.
So, but nowadays the internet's so handy that you know anyone can have access to it. And
Absolutely.
it's really cool. I've actually got a chance to be interviewed on an article. I've had 2 articles written about me this week.
That's
Which
great. Congratulations.
it's just a big, and that's, I never did this to get famous. I did it so people could heal, because so many people have their backs up against the wall and they're struggling. So how'd you get pulled into music?
Uh, well, I got pulled into music. It was a pretty shallow reason, I have to be honest with you. Uh, a lot of things in my life, by the way, have just been very go with the flow. Like if I feel like I'm being pulled in a certain direction, I kind of just tend to follow it. I don't fight it, and I just kind of, I'm always down for an adventure, is what I'm saying. So, I would say probably senior year of high school, I was dating this girl, and I was in love with her, and I thought that I was, going to marry, I was going to have a high school sweetheart, love story, all this stuff. And, I became a statistic. Most people that are high school, that date each other in high school, do not, end up together. So, but yeah, but, you know, and I did take it personal, because whenever you're 17, 18, that's what you do. You think everything is the end of the world. So I thought, you know what? I bet if I learned how to play guitar, that girl would regret breaking up with me. So I started learning how to play guitar, and I learned like a couple songs. Uh, I posted maybe a song on Facebook, and it was absolutely awful. It was absolutely terrible. Every now and then it'll pop up on my memories, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe people didn't tell me to just like, quit, because that's what should have happened. But they didn't. Everybody was super, super kind and gracious, and people were very encouraging, and it made me think, that I maybe had something. So I just kept chipping away at it, and pretty soon I started writing my own songs. I wrote all my songs solo at the beginning, and released a couple original songs. People really liked those in my area, so then at some point I just had like this light bulb moment. I was like, you know what? I'm a firefighter in Missouri. Why don't I try to be a firefighter near Nashville? And then, I'm off more than I'm working. So on the days off, I'll just pursue music. And so got on Google, looked at all of the cities around Nashville. There was a city called Hendersonville. And I was like, well, that's a pretty big city. I wonder if they got a fire department. So I typed in Hendersonville Fire Department, and what do you know? It was like they had just started accepting job applications for the fire department, and I sent all my stuff in, went and tested with them, and went and interviewed with them, and did not get the job right away. It took like a year and a half, and it ended up being kind of a freak deal. They were like, hey, we weren't actually going to hire you. We are going to make you test again, but we had a budget go through. Therefore, we are able to take on one more person. Do you want to be that person? And so I just said yes. So kind of on a whim, my whole life was turned upside down. I had like a week to move to Nashville upon learning that I was taking this job. And then, yeah, I've been here in this area ever since July 12th, 2016.
So was you married when all that happened?
No, sir. I was a single 21-year-old when I moved to Nashville. And let me tell you, what a wild place to be when you are 21.
I bet. So, man, you literally just answered my next two questions. See, this is what I was talking about.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, gosh.
So, how do you balance being a firefighter with being a touring musician?
Well, to be honest with you right now, I am not working full time at the fire department. I stopped doing that mid July because my wife got her dream job as an academic specialist. She's working up the ladder at the school district, and I'm still just a fireman, which right now is kind of a dime a dozen. You can get on full-time fire at a lot of different places. It's just a job where there is a lot of demand, and so because of those
turnover too.
Yeah, a lot of turnover, just like cops, just like nurses, and anyway, because of those reasons, I took a step back, and I'm just working part time at the fire department, making my own schedule here in the town that I live in Ashland City. And so I've been in dad mode. I have an 8.5-month-old here at the house, and I've been staying home with the baby every day. So I have been I've been trying to balance dad life with music life, and dad life has definitely been winning. I will tell you that.
Dad life is tough. I mean, I'm a single dad, so I get it. I mean,
yeah.
So would you say firefighting has impacted your music any at all?
Yes, I would say that. I think it has. I think it's made me a better singer and a better. I mean, I'm not a great guitar player, but it's made me a better guitar player as well. There were so many times where, we're done with our duties for the day. We've already eaten dinner, and I go out in the bay where all the trucks are, and I just sit and I just start playing songs. And I would record those songs on my phone, and I would listen to them back, and I would just critique myself over and over and over, like, hey man, you sound terrible right there. Like when you hit that part of that melody, like you have got to sing that better. So like you were talking about earlier, mental things in life that can take a mental toll on you. Like there are people that have one bad show and they're like, I'm ready to quit. That has been me before. I have been extremely critical of myself, but I will say being there at the fire hall during those down times, just chipping away, practicing, honing my craft. That's where most of my rehearsing has come from. So I would say it's made me sharper. It's made me a better singer and player. And I have them to thank for that.
So was there ever a time that you were that person that was embarrassed to play in front of people?
Dude, I mean, I still yes, absolutely. And there are still times where, sometimes I feel like I'm not always worthy of, like, like sometimes I'm like, why did I get the show? Like, why did I get picked for this? And then I remember that, because I do believe that every situation that a person is put in, you are put in that situation for a reason. And I have gotten a lot better at realizing, no, there's a reason that I'm here. And I'm just able to enjoy these shows that I'm playing a lot more now that I have kind of worked through those mental struggles, and it's just been so much more freeing, so much more healing, like the theme of your show, and I am so much more better off now after years of going through, just kind of being embarrassed, like I wasn't good enough. So.
Well, you as being have seen you live, you are really good. Don't sell yourself
I
short.
appreciate it, brother.
But yeah, I mean, I'm the same way though, to be completely honest. Especially when I have an artist reach out to me. Like I've actually started having artists reach out to me about my show, and it's like, why me? And
Right.
so it's that kind of thing. So I can completely relate. I think some of mine come from past relationships where they were probably way more toxic than they needed to be.
Right.
So what's it been like? What was the move like?
The move from my hometown to Nashville?
From Missouri to Nashville. What was that move like? What emotions went into that?
Yeah, it was a whirlwind. So I found out, I think it would have been like maybe June, probably like June 28th. I got a call. I was in a fire truck driving. I was driving a tanker to a brush fire, and I looked down at my phone, which you're not supposed to do. And it was buzzing, and the number on the phone said Hendersonville, Tennessee, and I was like, no way are they calling me to tell me that they, something's changed. So I answer the call while I'm driving, while the sirens are going. Again, illegal, not supposed to do it, but I was so hyped, I was like, there's no way. Chief is on the phone. Hey, this is Chief Bush, Hendersonville Fire Department. We just wanted to let you know, had a new budget go through. We are able to hire you if you still want the job. And I was like, well, let me call you back after this fire. So I called him back a little bit later, and I was basically like, hey, Chief, when do I need to let you know by? Because, this is kind of spontaneous, He said, man, you need to let me know by the end of the day today. And I said, okay. He said, yeah, if you don't let me know by the end of the day today, we're going to go to the next guy. So it was about 11 a.m. And so I had till 5 p.m. that day. So I had 6 hours to decide if I wanted my life to go, which direction. And so I talked to my dad. My dad was like, man, I think you should stay here. Your family's here. And then my mom was like, oh my gosh, that's a great opportunity. You should take that. And so they were no help. And then I talked to a couple friends. It was kind of the same. Some of them were like, yeah, go. Some of them were like, no, don't go. And so I just made a decision. I did it. It was very emotional, very scary. Had an old, I think like a 2001 Toyota Camry, and I just threw as much of my stuff in that thing as I possibly could on July 12th. And I just drove down, and then a couple weeks later, my dad brought down a U-Haul trailer with like the rest of my stuff. But yeah, there was a couple weeks in my first apartment in Hendersonville where it was literally just me laying on a floor with a sleeping bag, no TV, no nothing on the walls. I had a refrigerator and I had, like I said, a sleeping bag, and I had a window to look out, and all I was worried about was going to work because I dang sure did not know anybody in the music industry yet.
So you have, and I might be calling it wrong, but I was looking you up and researching you on what to ask you. You have a thing called the Fire Boot Initiative. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
How did you come up with that idea, and what impact has it had on you?
Came up with the idea. It's a bit of, I mean, it was already kind of an idea. There's this thing called MDA Fire Boot, and basically once a year, all the firefighters across the nation go to these different places in town, and they try to get the public to throw dollars in this fire boot. And all the money is donated to kids with muscular dystrophy, I believe, is the cause. And it kind of got me thinking. I was like, you know what? Since I'm a firefighter, what I could do is put out a boot at my shows, and then instead of taking like tips, because I felt fortunate, you know, a lot of people are doing music as their main income. I felt very fortunate that I had like a real salary as my main income. So I was like, I don't feel the need to take the tips. So like, what if I took the tips and did something, you know, impactful with them? And by the way, I don't look at this as something that like I do. I look at this as something that people contribute to, and then I just kind of disperse it, you know. But it's had a big impact on me. I think it's been, you know, just when you think that people like don't really care, they always find a way to show you that they do. We have, since I've done it, man, we've raised like tens of thousands of dollars, and like we've given out so much money to people. We've given it to flood victims, tornado victims, of course, people that have their houses burned down. This weekend, I'm going to be playing in Pleasant Hill, Missouri. All the fire boot proceeds this weekend, we're going to give to this girl I went to school with. Her name's Ashley. She's late 20s. She's got 3 kids. She's a single mom, and she's got stage 3 cancer. So like, obviously she needs help. So it's just something that is very humbling, and something that, I mean, I feel like it's the least I can do to try to help out people in these areas that I go to play. That's why I started doing it.
Well, that's really awesome. And coming from someone that did the firefighting thing for a while, I feel the struggle because you see it all the time. You see,
oh yeah,
the burnout victims that have nothing and no insurance, so they're literally screwed. I mean,
yeah.
I hate to say it that way, but it's, you know, they have no one. You know, in fact, when I was a freshman in college, my mom's house burnt down, my childhood home, and we were really fortunate enough to find an organization called the Angel Homes over there in Houston, and someone had donated a trailer, like a mobile home trailer, and
Yeah.
they gave it to her.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
she had to pay to have it moved, but still, it's better than, you know, out thousands and thousands of dollars. So,
Right.
I mean, yeah, the heart for victims, and, you know, being a single parent, and, you know, life happens and it gets you down. And I think if we don't rally around our communities, then who else is going to look out for them?
Absolutely agree. Totally, man. And another thing I'll say is, so far I have had pretty much everything go really well in my life. So like, there's so many people out there who have had struggles that are so far beyond what I can even imagine. And like, you know, I've been very fortunate. I just feel like, you know, you gotta help out where you can. So that's where I'm at with it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Even like with me, I don't have much. I'm gonna be honest, but I give back everything I can. Like
Absolutely.
I believe in using your abilities and your talents for good.
Yep.
Um,
Totally.
it's like I also have a DJ karaoke business called Backwoods Production, which I run sound to occasionally for different festivals. And just seeing what goes into all that, and when I volunteer my business, whether it's something for the community or a benefit or whatever it is, to me, when someone smiles and the thank yous makes everything worthwhile.
Yep.
The look on the people's faces when they have that ray of hope, in a very dark situation, like you were saying, Ashley, the appreciation that you're going to get from Fill the Boot. Well, sorry, it's not Fill the Boot. It's
just Fire Boot, but yeah.
Fire Boot. See, and that's what I'm used to it being called, because over here it's Fill the Boot. So
Right.
And I probably may slip up and call it Fill the Boots once or twice.
It's all good. But yeah, I echo what you're saying. For me, it's just, you got to let those people know that there is somebody out there who cares about them, because you know how it is. When you're going through something tough, the first thing that happens is you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm the only one on this planet that's going through what I'm going through right now. And so just to know that somebody else out there acknowledges what you're going through and is willing to do something to show that they care, I feel like that goes, quite a ways.
So I completely, yeah, it does. I mean, that's a topic I could talk about for days. I ain't gonna lie. So your lyrics often reflect real life struggles and small town grit and heart. Where do you usually draw your inspiration from?
Man, I'll be honest. I'm kind of a random idea guy. I have random things that pop into my head all the time, and I put them down in my iPhone notes. And then, being here in Nashville, do a lot of co-writing. And so whenever I go to a session with these guys and we're looking for something to write, I usually have got a lot of ideas to bring to the table, and I've kind of got, a rough idea, concept, whatever, mapped out of kind of, what I'm thinking about. And that's usually how the song starts, writing wise for me.
Well, that leads me right into my next question. Okay. What is your writing process?
Yeah, I mean, before I moved, it was just sit down and take one of those ideas and just chip away at it for as long as you can, and work until something comes out. And honestly, I don't do that a ton anymore, because there is so much co-writing here. That is something actually I would consider a weakness, and that I need to get better at, is getting back to my roots of just solo writing. But yeah, as far as being here in Nashville, it's usually best idea wins, and then best song wins. So I feel like I got a lot of unique ideas that I can bring to the table, and even if we don't end up writing the thing that, the idea that I had, usually they get a good chuckle, because they can be kind of out there and kind of silly sometimes. So I just really, really enjoy the process of writing a good song. And it's funny because every one is a little bit different. You know what I mean? No song that I've ever written has been written the exact same way. There's always something a little bit different about how it happens. So whether it takes, 20 minutes or it takes 3 years or somewhere in between, every single one is going to be a little bit different. And that's what's so cool about original music, is the whole experience that goes along with the original music is an original experience. So
So, who would you say is that biggest person around you that is probably your most supportive?
Biggest person around me. What do you mean biggest?
Like in your every day to day life, who's that one person that when you get discouraged, they're like, it's going to be okay, or it's just a hump? That, who's that one person that has always, I guess instead of supportive, has always encouraged you? Let me say it that way.
That is my wife, 100%. She is just the best person to be going through life with. She she always makes everything seem like it's going to be okay no matter what. And she, very similar to me, had never lived anywhere but her hometown, and she moved all the way down here from me. And so, anytime I get a show opportunity, even though we got a baby at home now, she's always like, "Yeah, absolutely, go down to Broadway, go play that show." Like, I know you'll be home at 2 a.m., but like, that's what you got to do. Go do it. Go do it. And, any kind of struggles that I'm having, I can talk to her about. And she just always seems to be the encouraging one. And it's just really, really great. She is just the best thing in my life. So I would definitely say her.
So I've seen where it was stated, and that's amazing. That really is, to have that person in your life that you're able to lean on. That's true. That truly is a blessing because some people don't have that. Now, I've talked to a lot of artists where family have actually shut them away by them pursuing what they want to do. So that truly is amazing that you have that one person.
Yep. Yeah, man, I feel very, very, very blessed in that regard. It's been amazing.
So bring your mom and dad back into this a little bit. What do they think about how everything's going? Do you go back and see them often, or?
They are both very big supporters. I do go back to Missouri and see them quite a bit. They are living in two different places. My dad lives Hartshorn. He lives at our cabin down there, and then my mom lives in Blue Springs. So yeah, they're not together anymore, but man, they've always been the biggest supporters of my brother and I, and it just continues to be that way. If there's anything we need, they just drop everything they're doing, and it's really inspired me as a parent. Because now I'm starting to see all the things I'm starting to know how they were feeling whenever they made the decisions that they made for my brother and I. And it's making me realize that they were really, really good parents and that I need to take it as serious as they took it. And so, yeah, they're great. And I try to see them as much as I can.
Right on. So, you're gonna go see them when you come to Pleasant Hill?
Yeah, I think they will actually be both be at the show.
Right on. And when is that? What day?
It is Friday, October. Let's see, is that the 3rd? It is. Yes, this Friday, October 3rd.
I wish you the best.
Man, I appreciate it. Bringing the band with me.
So you have cited or stated in several places that Eric Church and the 90s country is kind of what influenced your music.
Correct.
How do you stay true to that while putting your own stamp on it?
I don't think that I'm not trying to like copy Eric Church or 90s country or anything. Those are the things that I just appreciate so much as a listener.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's odd. Sometimes the people there are people that'll be like, "Oh, you sound like this artist or that artist," and I'm not even trying to do that. But I would say, man, honestly, when it comes to any kind of art, whether it's you're writing a book or you're writing songs or you're singing or you're painting, whatever, just be authentically yourself and do it in a manner that satisfies your soul, and then whatever happens is whatever's meant to happen with that is going to happen. And that's kind of the way that I've always looked at it. Me personally, I don't think my music is always super cohesive. I kind of think a lot of my songs are all over the place. Like a lot of my songs sound totally different, and that's done that way on purpose. I'm always trying to. It's always going to be country, but I'm not one of these people that every song on the album sounds kind of like, oh, is that the same? Oh no, that's not the same song. That's the other song that sounds like that song. That's something that I don't want to do. And I think maybe you were talking about Eric Church. I think maybe that's kind of his influence on my brand of country music, because every album he does is totally different than anything he's ever done, and nobody can ever guess what he's going to do next. And I freaking love that. So,
and I gave you heads up on this next question. So which song do you feel that's been the most personal for you, and why?
Man, I got this song called Bronco. I really love this song. I wrote it with my friend Nick DeLeo. It's been extremely personal to me because it basically sums up this entire interview. Like, I've had a very unique journey, and I have done things the way I want to do them, for better or for worse. And I think in order to be, truly fulfilled in life, you have to kind of be along for the adventure, and you can't listen to what everybody else wants you to do or what everybody else thinks you should do. That's what the song's about. It's about, the analogy is a wild horse, that's out there, running wild and free, and then there's a horse that's inside of a fence somewhere that sees that horse, and they're like, man, I wish I could be that, but I love the safety of this pasture, and I love the guarantees. I can't run free, but I've got hay every day, and I know exactly what's going to happen, and I'm content with that. Whereas the horse that's out there running wild and free, it's a lot more adventure, but it's also a lot more scary. It's a lot more risk. And so that's just how I try to live my life. So that's a very long explanation for Bronco.
All right, then we're going to go ahead and play that song.
All right.
Who wouldn't take 3 home-cooked meals? The kids and the dog in a 40-acre field, growing old and holding hands until it comes our time. A company man making a hell of a wage, and he's all set up once his hair turns gray. Hats off to you, you're doing things right. Some people call that living the dream, but I guess I'm just a different breed. The saddle broke the Bronco and took him out the wild. Once you pin him up, that's the final ride. Just sitting there itching, wondering what's on the other side. I'll take 4-piece bands and one-night stands and chasing white lines all across this land. It's the only way to feed the beast way down deep inside. The saddle broke the Bronco. The saddle broke the Bronco. no attention to them whispered words. And I can't expect anyone to understand just who I am. A part of you still feels it when you see him running wild and free. That same unbridled spirit that you once wanted to be. The saddle broke the Bronco, took him out the wild. Once you put him up, that's the final ride. Sitting there itching, wondering what's on the other side. I'll take 4-piece bands and one-night stands and chasing white lines all across this land. It's the only way to feed the beast way down deep inside. The saddle broke the Bronco. The saddle broke the Bronco. That's right. I got a rattle box, you got a coupe to build. I know it ain't pretty, but I'm living still. You got a house paid off, I got stacks of bills. I know it ain't pretty, but I'm living still. Yeah, your time is money, mine's time to kill. I know it ain't pretty, but I'm living still. You got bread on the table, someday I'll get my fill. I know it ain't pretty, but I'm living still. The saddle broke the Bronco. The saddle broke the Bronco. The saddle broke the Bronco and took him out the wild. Once you put him up, that's the final ride. Sitting there itching, wondering what's on the other side. I'll take 4-piece bands and one-night stands and chasing white lines all across this land. It's the only way to feed the beast way down deep inside. The saddle broke the Bronco. The saddle broke the Bronco.
I'm gonna have to steal that one.
Hey, play it anytime you want, man.
I might have to start throwing that into my DJ shows.
Hell yeah, I would love that.
Man, beautiful message.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So our show, or I don't know why it says our show, but my show is about how music has saved us. Has there been a moment in your life when music truly carried you through them tough times?
Yeah, there has. I don't know. It just seems like it happens when you least expect it, right? There's always a song. It's usually the first time that I hear the song that it seems like it was the time that I was supposed to hear it. You know what I mean? Like, I can think of multiple different songs, so many different times in my life where I was just an absolute wreck and just could not even think. And I heard the song come on, and it was just like something sent down from heaven for me in that moment. And I felt that so many times, and I just, yeah, that's what it is to me. And you know, I don't know if my songs have ever been like that for somebody else. But there's been bands and artists that have been that for me. So, that is something that keeps me pushing forward, because there is something about music that brings every single person together. You know, it's an international language, and there is something there's something holy about it. So I hope that I can do it for as long as I can do it.
Yeah, just keep sticking with it. I mean, you've got it, buddy. You really do.
I appreciate it, brother.
So what's next for you? New tours, collaborations. What do you see?
I think if I can get through this stage of parenthood and kind of get things figured out and figure out how to get back in the studio and start making new music, that's gonna be the ticket for me. That's gonna push things, and everything's gonna be a result of that. So for right now, I'm kind of just playing shows, with songs that have been out a while, and that's great and that's fun, and I always just love getting to play. But I am looking forward to creating something new in the studio when I have the time and the money to do so. So I'm on a hold just a tad right this second, but it won't be long, and we'll be hitting hard again.
Well, you make sure you let me know.
I will do, buddy.
Sure, I've shared out there for you.
Dude, absolutely.
If I'm going to ask you two questions, they're going to be the same but different.
Okay.
The first question is, if you could collaborate with any artist, past artist, who would it be and why?
Past artist. Let's see here. Man, I think I'm gonna go Don Williams. I really love that kind of gentle country sound that he had on like Good Old Boys Like Me. And man, I would just absolutely love to get on a session that was produced back when that was produced. Music just used to seem a little bit sweeter back in the day. You know, there's just something about it that was just a little bit more spiritual. And I would like to be on I'd like to be on like a Don Williams record, I think.
Yeah. You know, Don Williams, my song that I think of him is Tulsa Time, you know.
Oh yeah.
And in fact, that's the song I do when I do karaoke, you know.
Yep.
Not very good at it. I'm no singer, but you know, to me, I love that era of music.
Oh yeah.
You know, mine was always Johnny Cash. I wanted to learn to play the guitar, and I wanted to play like Johnny Cash. And you know, like you said, the heart that goes into it. You know, it showed more then. You didn't have to Hollywood things up so people would buy a record.
Right.
You know, look at Johnny Cash. He wrote a song about shooting a woman down. I mean,
he's a real one. Imagine Johnny Cash having to make TikToks. Oh, shit.
He would have to have somebody else do it for him because he'd be like,
Yeah.
I ain't doing this.
Oh, my gosh.
All right. So now the other question is, who would you collaborate with today if you could, and why?
Collaborate with today. Man, there is a guy in Texas named William Clark Green. Are you familiar with him at all? Okay.
A little, not a whole lot.
His most recognizable song is Ringling Road, where it's like, we got beer for the bearded ladies and the trampy.
Yeah.
Okay. So like he's got like that's kind of his most famous song, but dude, his storytelling is so next level, and his records are just he's actually got a record out right now. He just had a kid, and it's called Where the Wild Things Are, and the album's got like a little kid in some knight's armor, and he's holding a sword, and there's a dragon, and like just the imagination that he has in his songwriting. I would love to write with that guy and be on a song with him. It would just be magical. That would be one. William Clark Green, or I freaking love the Turnpike Troubadours.
Oh, yes.
And I don't think they would ever do a collab with anybody. But if somehow they wanted to do a collab with me, that would probably be the other one, man. Like earlier when I was talking about, there's been times where a song just hit me just right. Like the first time I heard it, it just like it was sent from heaven. Dude, their songs have been that for me multiple times. They've got a song. I actually played the song at the festival. It's called On the Red River. Dude, you have got to check that song out. It absolutely just crushed me. The gist of the song is basically like, I remember seeing the world up on your shoulders. And
yeah, I think I remember you.
Yeah. Basically, when you live like we do, death can't take you away because you're still alive and well, basically, that your spirit is. And it's just such a beautifully written song with all the describes perfectly the landscape that we are familiar with being from the area we're from, and just yeah, I would say Turnpike Troubadours, William Clark Green would be the two that I would want to collaborate with.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I actually I know a little bit of their music, and I really do. Their music. I tell you, I would love to run sound for Riley Green. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh yeah,
the shows he put on, just to be able to be a part of that.
Yeah,
dude, I would love to be able to take backwards production and make that thing happen. Yeah. Honestly, I probably never will, but that's okay. I'm having fun doing it.
Yeah.
But that
you never know.
That would be his music, and I love the fact that country music is starting to feel a lot more like country music nowadays than.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's still, in my opinion, some people that should not be in the country music industry.
100% agree.
Each is their own, and I don't think we have much of a rock and roll anymore. Rock has gone to heavy. You don't see a whole lot of classic rock type music anymore.
No.
And a lot of our today's country is, I would call it country pop more than I would call it country.
Right.
And I think the genre needs to get back to the roots. I really do. That's all the way across the board. I mean,
100% agree.
So, what advice would you give someone that's chasing their dream while holding down a demanding job like you did?
Biggest advice I'd have is, biggest thing you need to do is enjoy it. Don't take it, do your best and work your hardest, but don't take it so serious that you hate it. Don't put a bunch of unnecessary pressure on yourself. Yeah, you're not going to be, 21 forever getting to do music, and just, it's really, really important to just enjoy those years and not just stress it all away. You know what I mean? Cause there's no need to be all stressed out about it. It's a very fun thing you're getting to do. You're getting to create music, which is not something that a lot of people get to do, and just give it your best shot, but enjoy the heck out of it, and do it with your heart.
Right on. Follow those dreams. Believe in yourself.
Absolutely.
One of my favorite sayings is, I don't remember who said it, but it's one person with a belief is equal to a force of 99 with just an interest.
Yeah.
And that tells you how powerful it is to believe in yourself. So I'm going to do something special with you because I've enjoyed this interview. So you've earned yourself 5 more questions, but it's going to be a rapid fire question.
Okay.
I want you to say the first thing that when I ask the question that comes in.
Okay.
What's your go-to late night snack after a show?
Moose Tracks ice cream.
Yes. If you could only sing one cover song for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
I'm gonna go with Good Lord Lord, Turnpike Troubadours. Everybody loves it. You can play it to close out the show or, to start the show.
All right. Dream venue, Grand Ole Opry or Red Rock?
I'd say Red Rocks.
All right. What's that guilty pleasure song you have on your playlist that might surprise your fans?
I would say Post Malone. What's the song called? Post Malone. Sunflower. It's like the Spider-Man soundtrack. Dude, that song never gets old. I love that son of a gun.
Coffee or whiskey before gig?
Coffee.
Right on. I figured that'd make it a little fun. So why don't you tell everybody where they can find you at?
Okay. If you are a social media person, I'm on all social media. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and it's all going to be at Hunter T. T is in Thomas. That's my middle name. Hunter T. Mounce. It's like bounce with a on it. Hunter T. Mounce. Check me out on social media, and anywhere you listen to your music, I'm also going to be there. I've got my music on this thing called TuneCore, and it puts it on literally everything that exists. So if you have it, I should be on there.
Well, buddy, I want to thank you for being on the show today. I've really enjoyed this conversation.
Well, thank you for having me.
And y'all that are watching, make sure you go follow him. Go show him some support. That's how we're going to make this thing blow up. It's just showing all our artists and our community love. So make sure you go show him some love. Until next time, remember to love one another and help each other out.
Heck yeah. Thank you, Willie. I appreciate it.
Not a problem, buddy.